the reasons our Air Force is the absolute best on the planet, because of the way we train. We're building decision makers. Everybody wants our training.
Producing quality pilots as rapidly as possible. Let's face it, there is a global pilot shortage and we are all in this fight together. So this gives the Air Force an opportunity to get these students the basic crawl phase of military aviation and to develop the fundamentals that will help them proceed more rapidly through the next phases of training. Anybody that's training pilots, military or not, how quickly can I move someone through training and put out a quality product at the back end, in this case, to go fight wars for my nation?
The Air Force has done this initial flight training a lot of different ways over the years. It is the best way and saves you money in the long run by developing your pilots to the standards you want right from the very beginning.
I would say about 10% of the people that started out to get to this level in their military aviation careers made it. So, you know, if we trained 1,400 this year, there were probably 14,000 that started 4 years ago. I would say 90% of the pilots going into the Air Force each year come through this program.
You know, it sounds kind of cliche, but a lot of the students that come through here, quite a few of them want to fly fighters. And so this is really their first exposure to flying in a smaller aircraft, a very maneuverable aircraft.
Tomorrow morning, we'll have a new class here. And one of the things that Apple Macintosh will say to them, the chief pilot, we recognize you as military aviators starting today. And your reputation as a military aviator starts today.
And the first thing I tell them is, you may not know anything yet, but when you walked in that door, you became a professional military aviator. We need you to step up and become that.
That's really our job here, is to teach them how to learn military aviation with all the respect and the expectations that come with that. The expectations they will perform. Typical day starts at 4:30. First takeoffs at 6:30, usually throughout the year.
Well, the weather here in Colorado is rather challenging at times, especially this time of year. We get a lot of strong winds and turbulence. In a lot of cases, these students have not flown 1 hour, and so teaching them how to take off and land can be a bit of a challenge.
There are a lot of failures along the way, and there are a lot of lessons learned for these young military aviators.
There's a lot of these students that are coming here that do have a goal to fly fighters, have never flown a small aircraft ever. This is their first opportunity to fly anything, and so all of the forces that they feel on their body and turbulence and hot weather and I mean everything that you would expect an aircraft to be flying in, when you get to the fighter world, they're going to see here for the first time. We fly the DA20. It's a great trainer airplane, been a dream to fly. The students pick it up very quickly. They're very forgiving, and even if they make a mistake, the aircraft is able to handle it pretty well.
What did stand out to me was just how maneuverable the airplane was and how comfortable it felt to me based on my Air Force career flying T-37s, T-38s, T-34s with the Navy. I was amazed at how well the aircraft responded to inputs and how maneuverable it was.
It's a tough airplane. A lot of these aircraft have been here for 16 years. We have good maintenance, but the planes themselves are just very tough. When I think about what they go through every day, sometimes 4 and 5 sorties a day per plane, 15 or 16 touch and go landings, and it might do that multiple times a day. You think about that, and that's a lot of wear and tear on an airplane. And these airplanes hold up great. It's a rare day that I lose a sortie because of a maintenance problem.
The design that we did on the DA20, the pilot being trained could have the stick in their right hand, throttle in their left.
Flip the panel left and right. Most of the time, PIC sits on the left side, and that means all of the typical 6-pack instruments are going to be sitting on the left side of the cockpit. We move that all the way over to the right, so the student pilot will sit on the right seat, the instructor pilot will sit on the left seat. That allows the student to have their right hand on the control stick and left hand on the throttle, which is going to be just like how the next phase of training in the T6 is going to be like.
It's just a good aircraft for what we use it for here. We have 62 DA20s here right now. It's helpful for us that we have very good maintenance. Because of that, we're looking at aircraft that have, 8,500 hours on them that really are showing no signs of end of life. Those 8,500 hour airplanes fly like they did when we first got them. Having all of the airplanes exactly the same makes it easy for the students who are here to talk about what they're doing and learn from each other. And what I will tell them day one when we show up is, I'm not teaching you to be a DA20 pilot. We are utilizing the DA20 as a platform to train you how to learn military aviation.
The DA20 is fully spin certified. It actually spins quite nicely, right up there with a lot of aerobatic airplanes in its spin characteristics.
During my first spin ever in the DA20, I was very hesitant, very unsure of what it took to get into a spin, how to recover. And after that first recovery, I had a moment of, I can do this. If I find myself in this situation in real life, I know how to recover properly. And I think the confidence that plane gave me and just kind of the freedom to play with those controls. And I think that's crucial to a good training aircraft, is the ability to play with your comfort zone like that. I think it's needed to become a safer and more educated pilot.
I know this is hard to believe, but usually by about the 6th, maybe 7th ride, in most cases, they kind of figure out the program and you'll see that light bulb come on. And that's the moment that all the instructors here live for.
They can progress very rapidly, and it's impressive to watch how quickly they go from, I have no idea what I'm doing to, yeah, I'm comfortable soloing this airplane.
When I walked in the door, I couldn't believe how much they did it right. They did it beyond any wild expectation, from the single campus to the equipment that we have here and the access to the airport, the flight rooms and the facilities. It was done right, and it's lasted a long time. The Air Force is still satisfied with it.
CAE, at the bottom left-hand corner of all of their slide decks, there's a bullet that says your training partner of choice. We're in a tough fight here in the pilot shortage, and they are giving me every bit of support that I could have asked for. The Air Force, the nation, the world fights through this pilot problem. I would like to see more stuff downloaded here. Now that we have overcome our challenge with respect to pilots, I think we're on a roll, and I just want to do everything I can to help the Air Force and the nation get over this. One of the critical things for us is to always be safety-minded. Let's face it, if we were crashing airplanes and hurting people, the contract wouldn't survive. It certainly doesn't hurt having an airplane that is very good for the mission that we are employing it in. It has been an easy airplane to maintain. It has given us almost no problems. It makes it easy for our chief of maintenance to keep the mission moving.
I always joke about it, but I say, I would have done it for free most of my life. If you can turn your hobby into a profession, you never have to work a day in your life. And then I feel like I've been blessed with that my entire aviation career.
I'm literally helping train the future of our United States Air Force, and that is cooler than I can even describe.
It almost feels like that career that I missed in the Air Force that I didn't get to do. I almost get to live a little bit of that with them.
Seeing that moment of where it clicks for them, where they gain the confidence, where they realize I can do this, and then they see the weight of where they're going after this setting on their shoulders, and they go from being nervous about it to believing in themselves and wanting to be a leader, and knowing that I've been a small part of that. It's a very humbling feeling, and it's also a very proud feeling.
Absolutely. I still remember my first flights in an airplane, and I'll never forget them. And I know that the students here that solo for the first time in an aircraft by themselves without an instructor, they'll remember this for the rest of their lives. There's no way that they'll ever forget it. I promise.